This is the L2C Media Network, and this is Sport Final. Here's the backs man. Good evening, everybody. How you doing? I wish I can say I'm doing okay, but I'm not. I don't know what's wrong.
Are you on?
Yes,
Okay.
I don't know what's wrong today. I'm really. I know a little later on I'm going to get my blood pressure checked. I've got a blood pressure machine. My mom's going to get hers checked. But I have a feeling tomorrow I may know where I'm going. But I hope by tomorrow this pain I feel will subside and we'll be back to normal. But I am going to play, but much like the world, I am going to play with this pain. So if we can, guys, let's get an hour done. Thank you. Just pray for me. Because right now, I don't know if I'm going to be here for long. Okay. Let's go to the scoreboard. Well, not the scoreboard, but let's do what we did for the past 2 days. Try to entertain you and inform you. First, we'll go to the NBA. And here we go. A couple of games still in progress. Both are in the third quarter. 2:58 remaining. The Sacramento Kings are leading the Bulls by 1, 83-82. And also in the third quarter, 4:50 remaining. The LA Clippers lead the Golden State Warriors 71-64. Let's get you some final scores. The Orlando Magic beat the Cleveland Cavaliers 105-94. Philadelphia 76ers over the Washington Wizards 141-136. Pacers 114, Rockets 107. Hornets the Charlotte Hornets 102, Atlanta Hawks 94. Boston Celtics took care of the Miami Heat by 2, 107-105. Knicks over the Jazz 112-100. The Oklahoma City Thunder defeated the New Orleans Pelicans by a score of 111-110. Milwaukee Bucks defeated the Detroit Pistons 130-115. Phoenix Suns continue an amazing run. They defeated the Raptors 123-116. Let's go now to college basketball. And here we go.
Why did you hang out with your buddies, Mark Black? Kelly Loeffler, Rod Johnson, John, not that Kennedy, because you can run all you want.
We, of course, have 2 games still in progress. Right now, in the second half, about 7 minutes left. Utah State over New Mexico 63-43. 7:45 left in the opening quarter. Boise State leads the Air Force 26-16. Final score, St. Bonaventure over St. Joseph 83-57. Tulsa over South Florida 61-51. Pittsburgh over Syracuse 63-60. Richmond over Rhode Island, 80-73. Louisville over number 19 ranked Virginia Tech, 73-71. Butler over Georgetown, 63-55. Ninth ranked Tennessee over Arkansas, 79-74. LSU over Georgia in overtime, 94-92. Chattanooga over Samford, 73-68. UNCG over Wolford, 84-75. VCU over George Mason, 66-61. Incarnate Word over NW State, 75-67. Number 11th ranked Houston over Wichita State, 70-63. Nicholls State over Lamar, 76-69. Sam Houston State over Southeast Louisiana, 70-52. Abilene Christian over Houston Baptist, 66-63. Xavier over St. John, 69-61. Central Arkansas over New Orleans, 83-79. Number 21 ranked Duke over Boston College, 83-82. 10th ranked Michigan over 16th ranked Minnesota, 82-57. 7th ranked Creighton over Seton Hall, 89-53. 2nd ranked Baylor over Oklahoma, 76-61. Ole Miss over Auburn, 72-61. South Carolina over Texas A&M, 78-54. 22nd ranked Virginia over Wake Forest, 70-61. Games were postponed. Stephen F. Austin and Texas A&M CC, Citadel and Mercer, Furman and Western Carolina. 23rd ranked St. Louis over LaSalle. Canceled their game against LaSalle. Massachusetts postponed their game with George Washington. Penn State postponed. Ohio State. VMI and ETSU postponed. Georgia Tech and Notre Dame postponed. Temple and Tulane postponed. Oregon State and Utah were postponed. That's your NCAA basketball broadcast. That's your scores from the NCAA.
So go home. We love you. You're very special. Boy, that is a really weird thing to say.
And
I'm guessing tough for Eric to hear. Dad, I'm sorry I didn't write it. Love me too.
Let's get to the other scores or the other stories. I think I may just cut this short.
Those masks really would have come in handy when you're getting
National Football League news. Well, Tom Brady's eyes widen as he was told of Chase Young's call out after Washington clinched a playoff berth. Following Sunday's win over Philadelphia. As he ran into a locker room, Young could be heard shouting, "Tom Brady, I'm coming. I want Tom." End quote, quote. Young will get his wishes. Washington will host Brady and the rest of the number 5 seeded Buccaneers Saturday night in the wild card round. The oldest player in the league in the league history to throw 40 touchdown passes in a season. Hello. In a season, the 43-year-old Brady called the 21-year-old Young, quote, a great young player, end quote. He also said he understands the origin of Young's desire to face him, quote. Went to Ohio State, so naturally I think the Ohio State-Michigan thing wears off on him a little bit. I understand we're prepared for a tough challenge. Should be a fun game, end quote. Now, before beginning his record-setting pro career, Brady was a 2-year starter at Michigan. As a senior in '99, Brady led the Wolverines to a 24-17 win over the Buckeyes. Young, who helped Ohio State win 3 consecutive conference titles 2 decades later, was a day shy of being 6 months old when Brady won his first and only start against Michigan's longtime. What did Coach Bruce Arians say in his response to Young's comments on Tuesday? Quote, it's kind of like what Steelers coach Mike Tomlin was talking about. You don't want to have to draft that high to get guys like that, but you've got to play against them. He's a hell of a player. Making him captain as a rookie speaks volumes, as he told Rick Stroud of the Tampa Bay Times. While the season has not always been the smoothest, Brady appears to have gotten comfortable with his new team heading into the postseason. So that's not bad.
Don't go up to Capitol Hill for a government handout. Pull yourselves up by your own bootstraps and just work a little hard. And in 2020,
Some NBA news.
who, make no mistake, are responsible for what happened today.
And it's not good news for Orlando Magic. Markelle Fultz has struggled with injuries throughout his early career, but had finally seemed to turn a corner with the Orlando Magic. Since being acquired at the 2019 trade deadline, Fultz has been installed as Orlando's full-time starting point guard. And this season, he's averaging a career-high 14.3 points. He may even have been a candidate for most improved player. But all that's in jeopardy right now after Fultz suffered a torn left ACL in Wednesday's game against Cleveland Cavaliers. He will now miss the remainder of the season, the team announced. Fultz was driving to the basket when he planted his left leg and crumpled to the floor. He could not put pressure on the leg as he exited the game. Fultz has dealt with minor knee injuries in the past, and he played a part in his struggles as a jump shooter. But Fultz was working around those issues in Orlando. He never developed into a good or even an average shooter, but is so athletic activity. It took a tremendous amount of work for Fultz just to become a playable NBA guard after everything he went through in Philadelphia. He went on to become a credible starter, but now his comeback might be in serious trouble. And Orlando also faces dealing with the absence of Jonathan Isaac due to a torn ACL, faces a very uncertain future. Okay. I'll be doing okay. Meanwhile, more National Football League news. As if the Cleveland Browns didn't have enough trouble with COVID, 2 Browns players were given citations for drag racing in Westlake, Ohio. According to court documents obtained by Brown Zone with Scott Petrick, Browns rookie left tackle Jedrick Wills and receiver Rashad Higgins were the 2 Cleveland athletes cited. The 2 cars were stopped at 9:26 a.m. on Tuesday morning, per the police report. In addition to the drag racing citations, the reports note something suspected to be a marijuana joint was found and destroyed on camera with an officer supervising. There's nothing in the report about when marijuana was actually found in the car. Each player responded in different ways on social media. Higgins made a joke of the whole thing, quote, foot slip, sorry, end quote, was trying to get away from COVID, end quote, before he deleted both tweets. Willis, meanwhile, actively defended what happened, calling the incident a small game he was playing with a friend. Police have cited Willis before for a traffic-related incident. The Ohio State Highway Patrol gave him a ticket for going 82 miles per hour in a 60-mile-per-hour zone back in November 21st. There wasn't any disciplinary action for that issue. Now, as for the drag racing incident, the team said, we are aware of the incident. We will gather more information and handle this matter appropriately, per Brown Zone. Both players have been important pieces of a Browns team that just snapped the longest active playoff drought in the NFL. Wills, the number 10 overall pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, started 15 games this season. Higgins, a 5th rounder in 2016, became a starter after Odell Beckham Jr.'s ACL tear. He made 37 catches, scored 4 touchdowns, and racked up to 599 yards. Also in the National Football League. Wow. Perhaps the only thing more frequent than a Saints playoff appearance in the Superdome over the last decade or so is a comment during that postseason match about the home crowd's talent for making enough noise to disrupt opposing decision-making on offense. With the restrictions due to the COVID pandemic in place, that environment won't be present when the team faces the Bears on Sunday. However, The team actually was reportedly looking into plans to see if they could make it happen. Luke Johnson of the New Orleans Times-Picayune was among the reporters speaking to Sean Payton on Wednesday about the upcoming playoff game. And the coach was asked about recreating home field advantage. The suggestion was, well, pretty wild. Luke Johnson, full quote. I brought up Payton said this, quote, Sean Payton said this, quote, I brought up the idea of testing 50,000 people and quarantining them in a hotel and having the most safest Superdome known to man, scientifically. Bust them, they've tested every day, and you got a COVID-free facility. This was said in jest, I think. Now, on the surface, the idea makes sense, and it's transferring the quite successful bubble approach the NBA and NHL took this summer for their respective postseasons. However, logistically, it seems like an absolute nightmare. For what it's worth, the Saints will be one of the few teams having fans in the stands during their games. Roughly 3,000 are expected to be in attendance. It's nowhere near the stadium's capacity, but the energy they bring will certainly be more than nothing, and perhaps just enough to rattle Mitchell Trubisky. 4 minutes before midnight, let's tell you that Nick Rekieta and his good friend Drexel will have a very timely broadcast tonight. As he and Drexel will be talking about, obviously, the big news story, what happened today in Washington, D.C. with Donald Trump's followers. Drex and Nick will be talking about the unrest in Washington, D.C., and they'll be on the Rekieta Law channel here on YouTube at midnight Eastern time. I'm going to try to make it. God damn it. I do not want to go to Detroit and be opened up. Okay, let's stick it out and fight. Let's get you with some more from the Hot Stove League. We are now literally ankle deep into the year 2021, despite the relatively late date on the offseason calendar in baseball. However, the most prominent free agents and trade targets remain on the market or perched tantalizingly atop the trade block. As such, Wednesday's occasion, another round of rumors and buzz. Let's give it to you. Who's going where? Now, Cubs, after non-tendering Kyle Schwarber and dealing away ace Yu Darvish, certainly appear to be in teardown mode. And as Matt Snyder of CBSSports.com recently wrote, they still have a number of trade possibilities on the roster. One of those is catcher Wilson Contreras, and Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic passes this little nugget on. Quote, Angels manager Joe Madden was a strong advocate for Wilson Contreras during their time together with the Cubs, so perhaps it's no surprise the Angels are showing interest in trading for the catcher, according to Major League sources. Right now, the Angels are poised to open the 2021 season with Max Stassi as their primary catcher. Stassi is a solid backstop, but that's an opportunity for upgrade. Contreras, with his power and improved framing abilities, will certainly qualify. He's also not eligible for free agency till after the 2022 season. So the Angels would be getting multiple years of control over the 28-year-old. More broadly, the Angels under new GM Perry Messian are looking to surround Mike Trout and Anthony Rendon with a playoff-worthy supporting cast. They're also one of the few teams apparently willing to take on salary obligations this offseason. As such, this particular rumor is worth watching. Meanwhile, the Red Sox are perhaps ready to act like what they are, which is one of the richest teams in all of sports after getting back under the luxury tax threshold, thanks largely to the self-destructive trade of Mookie Betts. First order of business will be likely addressing deeply flawed rotation. Speaking of which, the Red Sox have serious interest in right-handed pitcher Jake Odorizzi, per a source. Boston's chief baseball officer, Chaim Bloom, was part of the Rays front office when Tampa Bay acquired him in December 2012, so there's plenty of familiarity between the two. Odorizzi, 30-year-old, has spent the last 3 years with the Twins, and on their watch, he pitched to 107 ERA plus across 6 starts. And for his career, he owns an ERA plus of 105 and a strikeout walk ratio of 2.78 in parts of 9 big league seasons. Right now, the Sox have Nathan Eovaldi and Eduardo Rodriguez at the front of the rotation. But Rodriguez is at least something of an unknown quantity after a serious battle with COVID-19. The Sox hope that Chris Sale is back on the rotation at some point in 2021 after undergoing successful Tommy John surgery, but his exact timeline isn't established yet. Obviously, Odorizzi would provide much-needed depth as the Sox look to be relevant again after a miserable 2020 season. Veteran lefty reliever Brad Hand initially wasn't expected to be a free agent this season. However, Cleveland put him on waivers rather than exercise the team's entirely reasonable option on him for 2021. And here we are. Hand, who turned 31 in March, has been excellent since becoming a full-time reliever prior to the 2016 season. He boasts an ERA plus of 157 and a strikeout-to-walk ratio of 4.09 over that span. To the extent that front offices still care about such things, it's also worth noting that Hand has closer experience. Now, speaking of the still developing market for Hand, John Heyman tweeted out an update. The White Sox are now among teams in on Brad Hand. They seek a top closer, and as reported previously, are in on Liam Hendriks as well. Jeff Passan and Robert Murray also mentioned the Hendriks. Now, Hand makes sense for Chicago, given that their incumbent closer Alex Colon is also a free agent. Now, Heyman earlier tweeted that the Dodgers also had some interest in Hand. It's not an exhaustive list of suitors, obviously, as there's always a healthy market for accomplished left-handed relievers. Okay, it is 2 minutes past the hour of midnight. We've only got 33 minutes left. We're going to make it. Tomorrow, we have a roofer coming in. Hopefully he'll do something, get our roof safe, and talk about a window. I've also got some medicine I got to get. My mom's also got to get her medicine as well. And it's going to be a busy day tomorrow. So wish me luck, please. Thank you. Okay. Well, in other sports news, as you know, Jacob Blake this week has been filled with chaos in the United States. On Tuesday, it was announced that the Kenosha police officer that shot Jacob Blake will not be facing any criminal charges. To make matters worse, violent protesters made their way to the Capitol building in Washington on Wednesday in an effort to contend the results of the country's presidential election. Now, despite the uncertainty in the nation's capital, the NBA chose to proceed with its scheduled games on Wednesday. Teams taking the knee prior to games either way. The Boston Celtics and Miami Heat were two of those teams that elected to take a knee during the anthem. Nearly every player on each team got down on one knee to show their support for the Black Lives Matter movement. In addition, the teams put out a joint statement prior to the game, which explained after yesterday's decision in Kenosha. And knowing that protesters in our nation's capital are treated differently by political leaders, protesters who acted illegally just shows how much more work we have to do. We have decided to play tonight's game to try to bring joy into people's lives, but we must not forget the injustices in our society and we will continue to use our voices and our platform to highlight these issues and do everything we can to work for a more equal and just America. The Milwaukee Bucks and Detroit Pistons proceeded with the opening tip for their game. However, right after the Bucks gained control, every player on each team took a knee as Bucks star Giannis Antetokounmpo dribbled the ball out of bounds to stop the clock. Now, coaching staff for each team also elected to take a knee, much like their players did. Later in the night, the Golden State Warriors and LA Clippers also decided to take a knee. Prior to tip-off, the two teams took the knee while the national anthem played at Chase Center. In addition, the Warriors donned Black Lives Matter t-shirts during the warm-up. Yeah. Oh. Okay, we are at 6 minutes after midnight, and we're rolling around. And
yeah, and as you said, I think we dropped my sponsors has withdrawn saying after the event of today. What do you have to come for you? I don't think we can get them anywhere. So we'll continue to watch.
Let's get more going.
Okay, the entire National Guard to Washington, D.C., in addition to troops from neighboring Maryland,
and we'll do it with properness.
We've been mobilized in response to the storming of the Capitol today.
Okay. Tennis writer Tom Perrotta passed away at 47 following a battle with a brain tumor. He's been fighting a brain tumor since shortly after his 40th birthday. Many sports writers paid tribute to him on Wednesday. Matt Futterman said this on Twitter. I know there's a lot going on today, a lot to be said about, but I am overcome with emotion over the death of my friend, Tom Perrotta, great dad and husband and friend and journalist. I love you, Tom. Simon Chambers wrote this, incredibly sad news. My friend, Tom Perrotta, lost his battle against a brain tumor today at the age of 44. A great journalist, great writer, and real friend on and off the tennis court. All the love in the world to his family. Rest in peace, Tom. Nadia Jean Myers. I adore Tom Perrotta. I sat with him at several tennis majors, and I will never forget a long dinner after a day at the French Open when 2 hours into a meal with Ben Roethlisberger and Doug Robinson, Tom and I realized we went to college together. Rest in peace, friend. And there are many more just like that. His use of the presidency to destroy trust in our elections, poison our respect to our fellow citizens, has been enabled by pseudo-political Richard Justice has announced that he too will be leaving after 9 years of being at Major League Baseball's website, MLB.com. And this is a high turnover for the MLB website. It's the latest in a winter of high turnovers, with beat writers like Ken Grunick, T.R. Sullivan, Greg Johnson, Jeffrey Flanagan also leaving. We wish him well. Wish Justice well. Four people were killed who ransacked the Capitol. Of course, the woman and the Air Force veteran who was shot by Capitol Police. And it's our media update.
So minutes after the president pulled a large crowd that he would quote never concede, some of them marched down Pennsylvania Avenue and stormed the Capitol.
Here we go. Let's do some shout outs, or as we're going to call them now, let's do some shouts. And I'm going to make it. 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 I know you're pain. I know you're hurt. Election that was stolen from us. But here we go. To Kimberly Wells, how you doing? To Angela Peterson, Christina Peterson, Yuki Tanaka, Anne-Marie Mann, Jay the Brain Man, Matthew Nichols, Jerry Nichols, Nancy Nichols, Amy Hayes, Frida Hayes, Morris Hayes, Stacy Hayes, Brian Mann, Donna Payne, Crystal Hart, Ricky Pickrell, Rhiannon Johnson, Chris Lewis, Chris French, James Murphy, Carrie Bodell, Jamie Lynn Dauncey, Rick Chiampa, Hilda Clark Bowen, Jeff Bundy, the whole reference show. Itan G, the Jewish rapper, Joseph Yusuf Diaz, Regina Lewis, Shannon Walsh, Bobby Strauss, Jennifer Finney, Stephen Bledsoe, Regal Flores, Michael Pickrell, Yvonne Marie, Phil Monahan, Johnny Spitfire, Kimberly Butler, and referee Russ Kimball. Also, January J. Keaton, good luck over at WKYC in Cleveland. Audrey Dahlgren, Nick Mantis. And also Ian Kress and all the gang over there at Channel 6. Howdy hi, Heidi ho. Alex Sims over at WSYR TV. Angela Orsini. How you doing? We also say hi to Brenda Dixon. As I said, Yvonne Marie. Sandra Douglas, Vanessa Douglas, Sabrina Kyle, Deshaun Whipple, Bobby Langford, Darren Brown, Heather Chantal Van Horn, Jennifer Torres. And all my friends here. Mike Sparks, how you doing? And my friends on Twitter. By the way, to all my friends on TikTok, how you doing? Let's say hey and hello to let's say hey to Alicia Bergio, Sierra Circe, Peter Oeda, Luisa Fernanda, Claudia Treos, Erica Renee Davis, Juliet Huddy, Mandy Summers, Peter Gilmore, Wyatt Holiday, Queen Piper, also known as, of course, Biz Giggity. I also say hi to the Real Deal Linda Steele, Ivy McKellen, Jenny Scordamagila, and Kellyanne Collins. And we say hello to everyone on Instagram. And we say howdy hi to you guys. Also on Twitter, 15 minutes. Here we go. We want to say good hello and howdy hi to the following: Tori Cooper, Francia Jones, Silva Harpetian. Let's say hi to Carlin Robin, to also we say hello to Gloria Conroy. Hello. And Brenda Dixon, Presley and Taylor. We also say Madison Riley, how you doing? Hiya. We also say hi to Real Estate Barbie. Also to a whole lot of my friends. As we said, also Dorothy Malone, another good friend, Courtney Lynn Elwood, how you doing? How you doing, Misha Johnson? Jane McGotti, how you doing? How you doing, Oreke? How you doing, Emerald Sierra? And to Jesse Cressa, otherwise known as ODB, Gunhild Carling, Dixie Doppin, and Tammy Jo Fruthi, and all my friends on the beautiful thing we like to call the gram. Okay. Let us get to it. It's time to wrap it up and call it like we see it. It's scoreboard time. Now let's do this. I'm beginning to feel a little bit better if I keep breathing, but I got to get my medicine tomorrow. So here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, excuse me. I'm not sure exactly what you and your staff experienced, but your thoughts on being a member of Congress. Let's get to it. Let's go quickly here. We'll even pass some time here. In Italy, Series A, Saka, Bienvenido defeated Calgary. Defeated Cagliari 2-1. Atalanta defeated Parma 3-0. Bologna and Udinese tied at 2. Roma over Crotone 3-1. Lazio over Fiorentina 2-1. Sampdoria over Inter 2-1. Sassuolo over Genoa 2-1. Torino and Verona tied at 1. Spezia and Napoli 2-1. Juventus and Milan 3-1. In Spain, Barcelona over Athletic Bilbao 3-2. And let's get you quickly updated on the two games that are still in progress in National Basketball Association National Basketball Association action. Los Angeles Clippers, with 10 minutes left to play in the fourth, they lead the Golden State Warriors 107-97. And with 12 minutes left to play in the fourth quarter, the Sacramento Kings lead the Chicago Bulls 127-121. In Liga A action, Italy, Trieste defeated Reggiana 79-69. In Swedish hockey, Örebro over Linköping 7-4. And let's check in with some of the baseball action that is swirling above us in other countries. And here we go. In other countries. And let's do it. In the Dominican Republic, the Lidom playoffs. Aguilas Cibanes over Toros de Este 4-1. Estrellas Orientales over Gigantes del Cibao 7-6. Venezuela's best baseball action. La Guaria over Aragua 2-0. Magallanes over Zula 7-3. Enzo Antigua over Caracas 4-3. Lara over Margarita 2-0. La Guaria over Agua 4-3. Magdalenas over Zula 6-0. In the Australian Baseball League, Melbourne and Adelaide were postponed, but Adelaide and Perth played. Adelaide beat Perth 4-3. In Colombia, the winter stage right now, Camarines and Tigres have yet to begin. In Cuba, the National Series, Granma defeated Artisma. Matanzas over Camagüey 8-6. Ciego de Avila over Villa Clara 6-4. Sancte Spiritus over Cienfuegos 4-2. Industriales over Guantanamo 12-6. Mebuku over Las Tunas 9-8. And in Mexico, the LMP playoffs, Vasquez de Oberon defeated Jalisco 6-4. In the seventh inning, Mazatlan over Hermosillo 5-2. In the seventh inning, Aguilas de Mexicali over Monterrey 5-0. And in the eighth inning, Algodoneros over Tomateros 2-1. Okay, we are without a shadow of a doubt, literally done. We have done an hour, and well, we've done less than an hour. We're at 12:23, but I think we're going to end it here right now, and we'll be back hopefully tomorrow, 11:35 p.m. Eastern. And by that time, hopefully, I'll be in better voice and better look. But thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a great evening, and take care. Blessings.